A lot of people think that you need to have a well-defined offer in order to make money online, and that is a lie. How do I know? Well, I made my first $10,000 online without any fancy funnels, without a sales page, and even without a clear offer. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the one system that I utilized in order to acquire high-ticket clients without having all of the fancy stuff that everyone tells you that they need. You don't need any ad spend. I'm literally gonna walk you through this one process that will get you to not only your first $10,000 a month, but you could literally use this system to get to your first million. I am 100% convinced. And what I'm about to show you is something that you've likely seen before, but there's a lot of nuances within this strategy that's keeping a lot of you guys from actually getting results. And so I'm gonna walk you through this process. And the one thing that I wished I would have done when I did this was I wished I would have used my own $5 ad strategy to actually accelerate the results of this framework that I'm about to show you guys, okay? And right now you might be thinking, Laurel, I don't really have a lot of time in my day. I'm still working a full-time job. Don't worry, I actually used this and created this system because I was still working full-time in television. And this system not only made me my first $10,000 month, but it also allowed me to make my first 100K and my first 200K without spending any ads. But like I said, if I could go back and do this again, I would have used ads in order to speed up this process, okay? So the first myth that a lot of people have around creating a system like this is they think that you need to have a toolbox of all of these skills, okay? The only thing that I knew how to do whenever I first launched my business was I knew how to place a $5 video ad, right? Because I worked at CBS, I worked in television, and so this was a process that we used in order to launch TV shows. So I didn't even know what a webinar funnel was. I didn't know what a sales funnel was. I didn't really know a lot of the basic internet marketing things that we have here today. The one skill that I had was being able to launch these $5 video ads and get millions and millions of views, okay? So that was the skill that I had, okay? That was the skill that I was going to be showing people how to do. And so I knew that I could do one thing really, really well. And so I developed the system that I'm about to show you guys. And that was literally how I built my business. And it's also how I not only sold out my high ticket boutique agency stuff, this is how I actually sold the first 1,000 seats to my $7 program. Okay, you see, the $7 program is the last thing that I built in this entire thing. But this was the system that actually built the audience for me to sell the $7 program to thousands of people, okay? So what does this system actually look like, and what are some of the mistakes that a lot of you guys are making while utilizing this, okay? So again, I did not have a well-defined offer. All I had was this skill that I knew how to do, okay? So the first thing that I did was I structured what is an actual funnel. It's just not a funnel in the way that a lot of you guys would think of a funnel, because I think a lot of people think, oh, you need fancy click funnels or Kartra or all of this stuff. All I literally had was a Calendly link, and it was the free link. I didn't even have the paid version of Calendly. And then that Calendly link would go to the Calendly thank you page, right? That was it, right? It's like they can book time on my calendar, they go to a thank you page, right? And remember, I'm not selling an offer yet. I don't even know what people want. And that is one of the first mistakes that people actually make, is they want to write out this beautiful power offer. But if you aren't having conversations with your audience, you don't even know what that audience wants. And so it's a little premature to start putting together a type of offer, right? And so I'll show you guys what I was putting together instead in order to get people to this Calendly page, because you're like, okay, Laurel, you built a Calendly page, big whoop, right? So let me actually stay on this Calendly page just a little while longer, because a lot of people have the questions is, if I'm getting people to book a call with me, like, what do I need to put in that application? Well, in the very beginning, you want to have as many conversations as possible, because in the very beginning, you're gathering data. You want to know what your audience wants. You want to know what they need your help on. But most importantly, you want to know what problems they have that you can actually solve. And so in this Calendly link, all I had them put was their name, their email, their phone number, and then I had them do a multiple choice question number 1, okay? Because I do have multiple choice question number 2, and then I have multiple choice question number 3. I like to go for multiple choice questions because I like to kind of help that business owner figure out where they fall into this. And these multiple choice questions are basic things that I need to know. I don't want to add too much friction. Like, I don't want to ask income and all of that stuff because I want to just, like, honestly, at this point, I'm not worried about selling anything. I'm worried about getting data. And so I just asked, like, what type of business do you have? What is your goals for the next, 90 days or whatever? And, the third one was, do you like doing videos, right? Because I knew that I was going to talk to them about video ads. So 3 very basic questions. And the reason, again, is because I want to add as least amount of friction as possible here because I want the volume of calls so that I could figure out what problem I can solve and what can I actually offer. Now, just so you guys know, when you do this process, this stuff's going to come up on the call and people are like, can you help me? Where do I sign up? So even if you don't have a well-defined offer to get them on the call, you're really getting them on the call in the beginning just to be helpful. And just by being helpful on that call, it's going to lead to you making money. Like I said, I didn't have that offer. I just had a skill, okay? And so in the very beginning, I was targeting brick and mortar businesses. And so the way that I was actually getting people to this Calendly was I was going into Facebook groups. Now, it's not the strategy that you guys think. My first way of getting people to this Calendly link was I would go into all of these Chamber of Commerce Facebook groups and I would search Facebook ads. And then all of the posts where people were asking questions about Facebook ads would come up and I would go and give well-detailed answers to those questions. I would even sometimes do videos, like Loom videos, like really long form videos. And so that's how I was utilizing Facebook groups. I wasn't going in and posting random value because, guys, group owners know what you're doing. The ClickFunnels group, whenever I learned about internet marketing, it's still actually one of the best lead gen places right now. But that's what I was doing. That's how I was driving people to that Calendly link is I would go and answer questions in the Facebook group. And then I made sure that my profile was optimized, okay? So I made sure that when people came to my Facebook profile, right? Because when you answer someone in a Facebook group, what's the first thing that they do is they go to your profile and you want to do the 5-second test, okay? So within 5 seconds, if someone visits your profile, can they tell who you are, how you can help them, and what you do, right? That is what you want. 5 seconds. If I go to your profile right now within 5 seconds, will I be able to figure out what problem you solve, what you do, and how you can help me, right? That's the thing. So from Facebook groups, I would go in, they'd click on my profile, but then what was on my profile, right, were all of these videos that gave away a free thing, right? So I was teaching people how to do these $5 video ads, and so I would give away the setup instructions on a Google Doc. And so from that Google Doc, I would get them into a Messenger conversation, and then I would get them to a Calendly link, okay? So my whole framework for Messenger is this, and it's been the same for the last 7 years. With this, right, because remember, I didn't have an offer. At this point, I wasn't really interested in selling, but here's what I learned. And this is a huge takeaway. I learned by just being helpful, people asked me on the call, how much and when can we start? I didn't have to pitch them at all. And so this is why this Messenger framework still works for me today. I just pretend that person has just paid me $500 in order to solve their most immediate problem. It's the same process when I get on that call. I pretend that someone has just paid me and I'm going to help them solve that most immediate problem, and they're just going to ask to work. As a matter of fact, I love this story. One of my first clients, Barb, we were on the call and I'm about to hang up and she's like, Laurel. And I'm like, yes. I was like, oh, did you forget something? She's like, you didn't pitch me. How could I work with you? I mean, this works so incredibly well, guys. And this is one of the strategies that I think is still so underutilized because so many people are worried about sales scripts and all of this stuff. But if you really just put out content that gives value, just like what I'm doing right now, if you handle every messenger conversation in the most helpful way possible and get people on the call in the most helpful way possible, you don't need that well-defined offer that everyone keeps talking about. And so through all of these conversations and through working with all of these clients, I then figured out, okay, the common problem is this. Then when it came time to scale, right, because there was only so many people that I could take on, remember, I'm still working a full-time job at this point, okay? So once I filled up my boutique agency, I was like, okay, how could I leverage this? And so that's whenever I was like, well, some people want to learn how to do it. And so I put together a group cohort that actually taught this structure over a 45-day cohort. Every single day, we would be launching ads together on Zoom calls. That was a $2,000 offer. But here's the key. From February, was it February? No, it was April of 2018, all the way to November. I was still working a full-time job, guys, at this point. I'm still working a full-time job. So I not only have this boutique agency going on, I've got this $2,000 group coaching cohort. By November was whenever I launched the $7 program. And the reason that I launched the $7 program was because after months of doing this strategy right here, I had dozens of videos and dozens of cheat sheets that I had, and I literally just threw them. That's whenever I finally got ClickFunnels. And then I put them in an organized library, videos with the step-by-step cheat sheets. And I sold 1,000 people because I had already talked to all of those people in Messenger. And so in this process right here, I had built a massive audience. Now, when I say a massive audience, for me in the beginning, I had built an audience of about 3,000 people, right? And so as I was selling the big ticket thing, I was acquiring an audience of people who were getting massive value. So by the time I launched the $7 program, I launched it with a Facebook Live. I actually launched it with 3 Facebook Lives and following up on Messenger conversations, and I was able to get 1,000 people like that. So that has been my journey. And so now you guys can kind of see an overview of what I first started, what was the first sales process when I first started, and how it actually led to the group coaching model and then my $7 program. But I hope you guys have this takeaway that I didn't have an offer. So when you build an audience, right, you don't really have to have a lot of these fancy things that so many people tell you that you actually need. So if you are still not making at least $10,000 a month, you should try this. I hope that this video serves you. Like this strategy right here has been a game changer for me. It changed my life. I went from being a full-time employee, having to work holidays and all of that stuff, into having a business to where like I can hang out in my office all day. I work about 2 to 3 hours a day. I get to do what I love, all because I know how to do this one system really, really well. And honestly, guys, this is the same system that I use today. Even we're at 4 million, a little over 4 million now. This is the same system that I use, hands down. Like people say, well, you run ads. Now I do, because I'm leveraging, right? I already know what people want. I already know the videos that they like. And so now I just use Facebook ads, the $5 video ads, right? I still use my $5 ad strategy. I've got about probably $45 ads running right now with value videos just like this one. As a matter of fact, you might be watching this video right now as a video ad, but that's all I'm doing is I'm using this one system. And like I said, we just crossed over $4 million over the last 7 years, and I've barely spent $100. Yesterday, I showed one of my students, I had spent $150,000 and 300 or something like that. But I had just crossed over the threshold of $150,000 yesterday. So this system has served me very well. How many of you guys would like to spend $150,000 and have a little over $4 million in revenue? It's a really cool system. And by the way, I teach this system in my Momentum program. So Momentum is literally just Zoom calls. If you are the type of person that's like, I don't want to go through a lot of curriculum, I just want to attend Zoom calls, do what the coach is telling me, implement, and then come back to another Zoom coaching call, where you can tweak and optimize and all of that fun stuff. That's all Momentum is. There's no curriculum. It's literally just a calendar full of Zoom calls where I present the information, I help you implement it, and then on the next Zoom call, we optimize the shit out of it and troubleshoot it. So anyway, if you're interested in that, drop me a line below this video. It is sold out as of right now, but we have students that come in and out of the program. The calls are super small. It's only $200 a month. And then you can actually get my help. You could actually get my help putting together this entire system. I will look at all of your messaging. I will look at your videos. I'll help you write the videos. It's a really fun program. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Like I said, if you're interested in Momentum, drop a line below this video and I will hook you up.